What's up everyone? Welcome back to the workshop. This one might be a bit confusing, so bear with me. We're gonna get through it. Today we're gonna cover how I wired up my JMOD, and I'll also offer some alternative ways to do it. In this cabinet there are 3 frequency bands: the low frequency provided by 2 12-inch drivers and a coaxial driver, the DCX464. Coaxial meaning there is actually 2 speakers inside of this one driver, and this thing is a beast. You can see here the terminals for the high frequency, terminals for the mid frequency, and they both emerge from the same 1.4-inch exit. These cabinets I'll be tri-amping, so each frequency band will receive its own processing and its own amplification. There is a passive crossover that exists for the DCX464, which allows you to power the entire coaxial driver from 1 amp, but I'm not using it in this build. I just want you to know that it's out there and it can be used if amps or DSP are any limiting factors for your build. I'll start with a crude wiring diagram and then I'll proceed on to the real work. The JMOD uses an NL8 socket in the back, which can receive 4 sets of audio signals, +1, -1, +2, -2, and so on. I'll be using 3 of these pairs. I'll leave the +4, -4 blank. These conventions that I did might not actually match up with what's industry standard. I think normally they wire the low frequency on +1, -1, and go up from there. I did it in reverse for the other one. So we're gonna stick with it that way. We'll do the high frequencies on the +1, -1 channel, the mids on +2, -2, and the lows on +3, -3. And I'll be wiring these 12-inch drivers in parallel. So both the wires will pigtail together and meet at the same terminal. I'm not an electrician, I'm a woodworker. So the electrical side of things I consider a weak point for me. But I'll gladly share what I'm currently doing, and maybe I'll learn something from you and change up how I do it in the future. For the DCX464, I'm using 16 gauge oxygen-free copper wire internally. I'll separate the wires and strip them. I couldn't track down my wire stripping tool one night, so I'm just cutting the sheathing off of this wires with an X-Acto knife. And I'll be using crimp bond spade connectors on both ends, but the actual widths of the spades are different on the NL8 versus on the driver. I think the NL8 is 3/16 of an inch and the driver was 1/4 of an inch. And you can find these spade connectors pretty easily online, and the automotive stores around me keep them in stock. After I crimp on the connectors, I like to wrap this connection with electrical tape. It's a little more added security and a little more electrical insulation. The spade connectors that I'm using on the NL8 side are fully insulated, meaning there's really no exposed metal, which is nice because these spade terminals are really close together. And it's also very tight inside of this cabinet. There's not much clearance behind the DCX464 driver to the rear of the cabinet. So for the high frequency connections, I'm actually gonna bend them at a 90-degree angle. And I'll repeat this process for the mid frequency driver. We're gonna split the wire, strip the sheathing, and add crimp connectors and electrical tape. On to wiring up the BNC12 NDL88 woofers. So to provide the power from 3 separate amps to a single JMOD, I'm using a 50-foot run of 14/6 oxygen-free copper cable, meaning that it has 6 separate 14-gauge cables contained in one single sheath. When I open up the sheath, there's a bunch of different colors. They're arbitrary, but I'm gonna try to stick to the same coloring conventions between my 2 JMODs just for ease of use. So since I have this 50-foot cable of 14-gauge copper, I'm gonna actually trim 4 of these off the edge, maybe about 12 to 18 inches off of one end. And I'm gonna use these to wire my 12-inch woofers. And I found my wire stripping tool. One woofer is gonna get red and white for positive and negative, and the second driver will get blue and black. I'm wiring these drivers in parallel which will divide the resistance between these two drivers, so it'll drop it from 8 ohms total to 4 ohms. These drivers have push terminals, so I can leave raw wiring at the driver end. And I have 3 sets of cables ready for my NL8 socket. So here's an exterior view, and here's a diagram of the spades on the interior. So we've got our cabinet wired up. Now I'll focus on the 50-foot cable that I'm going to run from my amps to my speakers. There are many ways to accomplish this, but for me, the most economical is to kind of make this Frankenstein style cable. I'll have one male NL8 on one end, the end that connects to the speaker, and I'm going to have 3 NL4s at the amp end for the high, mid, and low. These could be NL2 connectors, but I happen to have a bunch of NL4s on hand, so I'm only going to use the +1, -1 pairing on each of these. And on the NL8 connector side, which connects to my speaker, there are 4 sets of screw terminals, but once again, we're only going to be using 3 of those pairs. And here's the other end, the amp end. You can see my 6 conductors, 4 of which that I cut down to be used internally on the 12-inch drivers. I'm going to attach 3 separate NL4 connectors at the opposite end, highs, mids, and lows. I really hope this helps someone out there. Like I said, I'm not an electrician, and this was one of the more opaque aspects of speaker building to me. But if I can do it, you can do it, and I hope you will. So the only thing left to do now for this system would be tuning. I'll try to cover that in the next episodes, but I've also got some repairs I'm going to do. Might do some videos on those. I appreciate your time. Thanks for tuning in.